Welcome to the 4 Gadgets London Cup, one of the most sought-after titles in British kart racing. The London Cup is held once a year at Rye House Circuit in Hoddesdon, where future Formula One world champions like Jenson Button and Lewis Hamilton once cut their teeth. Indeed, British touring car star Ash Sutton was a winner at the London Cup as recently as 2013. In addition to club regulars who race at the circuit throughout the course of the season, this prestigious title also attracts plenty of highly rated teams and drivers from around the country. It's the flagship event for the club and a massive undertaking for the organisers.
It's weeks and weeks. You're talking about late evenings on 10, 11 o'clock at night, getting all the officials together, get the planning done. So yeah, 3 or 4 weeks, and then hopefully on the day everything comes together. And we're very fortunate this year to have the 4 Gadgets sponsors, and they've done an awful lot. They have really made it what we've got it this year.
The profile and prize fund for this year's London Cup has been raised considerably, thanks to the support of 4 Gadgets, a fast-growing company that specialises in new, refurbished and used phones and gadgets.
It's our first real sponsor somewhere. We've only been around for 3 to 4 years, and we're just sort of growing as a business, sponsoring events, getting our name out there, and yeah, pushing ourselves forward now, yeah. It's really good. I mean, there's a lot of races, it's going well. I mean, it's quite exciting stuff as well, yeah. No, it's good.
And the circuit has a special guest commentator for the weekend, 4-time Hot Rod World Champion, Barry Lee.
I think this event is fantastic. The stadium is great. They're now putting a lot of money into it, as you can well see. The racing here is absolutely superb because there's so many different corners here. It's very quick in some places and it's also tight in others. So you have to keep your motor on. I can't ask for a better venue and a better day's racing.
Rye House is one of the UK's premier kart racing venues, with top-class facilities and a circuit that's both fast and technically challenging. Here's cadet racer Aston Wigley to talk you around the lap.
So we've got the first corner, it's called Stadium. It's a really fast right-hander, and then at the end it gets really tight. And then after that we go into a little left-hander, just flat out through there. And then go down a longer straight, and then you've got a left-hand hairpin, which you have to brake really hard on. And then you have to go up to a second hairpin on the right-hand side, which that's quite hard as well. And then we've got to go up straight, and then we've got to go on the left-hand side, which is called pylon. And you've got to ride that curve, and then you've got to go through the S's after that, and then one more corner, which is another right-hander, and then that's it.
So there's a flying lap around a circuit which the drivers both enjoy and respect.
It's a nice track because there's lots of corners in it and it's a really aggressive track.
It's really good, I like it. It's not as big as the other tracks, but I think it makes up in the fact that there's quite tight and twisting. There's a lot of really close racing.
You've got to be brave to drive around here. There's a lot going on, it's all happening very quickly.
Tight, twisty, technical, they're right on top of each other. You make a mistake and you can go from first to fifth in one corner.
For me, the toughest corner would have to be Stadium because you have to enter it at a certain speed, and the approach coming out of the last corner, you have to get it spot on to get the best run out to the next corner.
This year's event is open to 6 different categories to accommodate the different age groups and types of kart that are raced at this level. The first category that we're going to see at this year's 4 Gadgets London Cup is Junior Rotax. It's open to drivers aged between 13 and 17, and whilst there's a wide variety of chassis in use, all the karts are powered by identical 125cc 2-stroke Rotax engines. To reach the final, the drivers have to make it through a series of qualifying heats. These combined race results then set the grid for the pre-final, and whoever wins the pre-final starts the main race from pole position. And having won all of the heats and the pre-final, Alexander Burford-Fuller would go into the final as the strong pre-race favourite.
I would love to win it, yeah, definitely. Be top of the world, because it's probably my last junior race anyway, so to go off with a big bang, yeah, it'd be brilliant.
However, former club champion Luke Oliver was quickest in timed qualifying at the start of the weekend, and one of the drivers looking to give Burford-Fuller a hard time.
We've been on the pace all weekend. We've been keeping up with all the top drivers. This is the 3rd time I'm doing it, and we feel we can win it this time.
Behind every driver, there's a team, and in kart racing, more often than not, it's the parents who provide support and do much of the work back in the paddock.
I used to race myself, and Luke loves it. We go around the country racing, and we're in various championships. I've been watching him now since he was a little boy, and I love it.
One of the great things about this event is that it's not just open to experienced drivers. Everyone has to start somewhere and throw out the entry list running on black and white number plates on novices, the term given to drivers who are in their first half a dozen events and still learning all about racecraft.
It's really good, quite good drivers. You can learn a lot from them here, and yeah, just at least if we get top 10 this weekend, it'll be good.
So after winning the pre-final, Alexander Burford-Fuller will line up on pole position in Junior Rotax with Mason Ruff alongside. On row 2, it's Max Maserati and Luke Oliver, with Joshua Mully and Warren Miles completing the top 6 on the grid. So number 20, Alexander Burford-Fuller leads the pack around, ready for the Junior Rotax Max final here at Rye House. Number 60, Mason Ruff alongside Luke Oliver with the onboard on the second row. As the lights go out, the race gets underway and they're charging to Stadium Bend. Great start for the pole sitter. Max Maserati, number 15, has got a good start through from third to second, and Luke Oliver is tucked in behind with the onboard camera in third place. So Mason Ruff down to fourth, and Luke Oliver down the inside into the first hairpin to go second already, and following him through, number 60, Mason Ruff gains a place back. So down to fourth for Maserati, number 15, and then it's Warren Miles, number 22, in fifth place. Joshua Mully, number 59, rounding out the top 6 as they make their way into the S's for the first time. And Alexander Burford-Fuller already making good his escape here. He's pulled 2 or 3 kart lengths clear as they cross the line at the end of lap number 1. So the leader takes them into Stadium Bend flat out for the first time in the race. On board with Kieran Germain from the back of the grid after problems in the pre-final. He's about to go up the inside here of number 55, Daniel McMillan, and just ahead number 76, Ethan Ling. At the same time, overtook the 44 kart of Rio Roden, who now comes under attack from Germain, and he gets past on the way into the hairpin. So Ling and Germain trying to make their way up from 17th and 18th on the grid respectively. Burford-Fuller, the race leader, takes them through the S's. Luke Oliver in second, and then number 60, Mason Ruff. Number 15 in fourth place is Max Maserati, and he has got right on his heels now, number 22, Warren Miles, who draws alongside going into Stadium and has to back off out of the manoeuvre. Great battle this for fourth place, which is developing just on the back of them. You've got 59, Joshua Mully as well. Warren Miles has a look down the inside of the hairpin this time, squeezes through, and Warren gains a place. Max Maserati has to close the door before Joshua Mully comes through. So Warren Miles, who leads the club championships here this year, finished on the podium at this event 12 months ago, with a good move there to go fourth, and getting tight as well in this battle for second place, because Mason Ruff, who out-qualified Luke Oliver after the pre-final, is trying to get his position back here. But they've got to be careful not to let the race leader get away. He's still just up the road, 2 or 3 tenths of a second clear as they make their way out through Reggie's Elbow, this left-hander down towards the dual sequence of hairpins, the infield hairpin first up. On board with Kieran Germain, and up ahead that is Ethan Ling, number 76, on the attack again. This time he goes down the inside of number 77, Zach Parfit. There he comes under attack now with Kieran Germain following through into the second hairpin. So these two working really well together, charging through the field. And up front, I reckon second and third are starting to catch the race lead here. In fourth place, being dropped now is Warren Miles. Fifth and sixth, you got Maserati and Mully. Then a three-way battle for seventh. Number 24 is Archie Garlick. Number 72 is Stanislav Rothschild. And from the back of the field, Jason Hutton, number 17, is just on the tail end of that group as well. And just behind them is this three-way battle. Kieran Germain right on the tail now. Number 76, Ethan Ling, who goes down the inside of number 25, Charlie Koshall. They both run wide. And Ling drags it back onto the line as we've got side-by-side action for the lead of the race here. Luke Oliver fully alongside there on the way into Pylon Bend, but the inside line was still with the race leader, number 20, Alexander Burford-Fuller. That was a first big attempt there from Luke Oliver to try and win this race. There's nothing between the top three, and Warren Miles is coming back at them as well here in fourth place, because the more the battle, the more they hold each other up. On the exit then to Stadium through the flat-out left-hander at Reggie's Elbow down towards the hairpins. This is where the overtakes have been happening. Back on board with Kieran Germain. Right ahead, Ethan Ling, number 76. These two breaking up into the top 10 now and about to gain more positions at the hairpin. Past number 72, Rothschild, and past number 57 as well. Lewis Borrett goes Ethan Ling, absolutely flying through the pack. And we have got a four-way battle for the lead of the race now, because the 22 kart of Warren Miles, who finished second in last year's club championship, is back up there with them. So more defensive lines now for Alexander Burford-Fuller, the race leader, as he goes into Stadium Bend. And he's going to have to brake late, but not be untidy on the way into the hairpins as well. He's got a good exit there, and watch Mason Ruff down the inside now, and Luke Oliver, and Mason Ruff picks his moment to perfection. He goes back to second place. Warren Miles is trying to have a go as well, but he's going to be on the outside line. He cuts back. They're going to be side by side through Pylon Bend, but Luke Oliver, number 71, I think will just about have enough here to hang on to third place. Fantastic battle then at the head of the field. We've got these three who have charged through from the back of the field. 17, Jason Hutton, 76, Ethan Ling. With the onboard camera, number 11, Kieran Jumay. All of them have made their way into the top 10 now. Kieran won the London Cup last year as a cadet. This is his first race in the more powerful junior Rotax category. He's doing a good job here coming back through the field. They're now running 7th, 8th and 9th. A bit further back, number 21 is Reece Coker, and 55, one of the novice drivers, Daniel McMillan, having a good scrap there through Stadium. And back to the leaders, on board with Luke Oliver, as Mason Ruff goes for the lead of the race here, but he's going to be on the outside for Pylon Bend. He'll have the inside for the right-hander, but somehow Burford-Fuller fends him off. Great bit of defensive driving there, because for all the world, Mason Ruff thought he was through there, but good, clean battling going on between these guys. Number 25 is Charlie Koshel there, and right behind him, 77, Zach Parfitt. So pretty much everybody's got somebody to race here. Billy Starrs, number 41, being chased down by 44, Rio Roden. Those two battling just outside the top 10, as we see the leaders going wheel to wheel again on the way into the hairpin. Out wide goes Mason Ruff, and Luke Oliver, number 71, gets second place back. So it's back to third now for Mason Ruff. A lap ago, he was going for the lead of the race. Just with them, watching it all go on, is Warren Miles there. Going to get a replay now of this, and to the outside went Mason Ruff, and with the onboard camera, Luke Oliver did not need a second invitation. So it's back to second place for him now. With all this fighting, it hasn't really allowed the race leader to get away, though. Burford-Fuller maybe got a length advantage here, but not much more as he breaks for the infield hairpin here. And Warren Miles is going for third place. He goes down the inside of number 60, Mason Ruff now. And a good move that late on the brakes for Warren Miles. So he's on course for his second podium finish on the trot in the London Cup. And it's wheel to wheel again for the lead of the race. Luke Oliver, he's much quicker on the way through Pylon Bend, but each time Burford-Fuller is able to fend him off. It's a hard place to overtake that. But Luke Oliver has thrown absolutely everything at this. He's got one more lap. He's got 40-odd seconds to try and find a way past Burford-Fuller. These two have broken a little bit clear now of third and fourth place. This might free Luke Oliver up to have a look. The inside line, though, is blocked. He takes to the outside line through the first hairpin, tries to cut back. But Burford-Fuller's doing a great job of fending him off here. Even though people have got side by side with him, he hasn't really given a clear chance to anybody as yet. Couple more corners to go. Alexander Burford-Fuller off the podium here last year in fourth place. Is he going to go straight to the top step? He goes through the S's for the final time. One more corner. The checkered flag awaits, and Mason Ruff has snatched third place back. Here is the flag. Burford-Fuller wins. Luke Oliver right behind him in second place. And third on the line goes to Mason Ruff. Here's confirmation of the top 10, with Burford-Fuller, Oliver and Ruff all making the podium, and just 9/10 of a second covering the top 4 at the checkered flag.
It's a really hard race, defending from lap 6 I think it was. And it was just keep your head cool, keep your head down, just get on with it, don't panic, don't make any stupid mistakes. And yeah, just put your foot down and get as much gas as you can, but don't overdrive, that's the worst thing you can do. But yeah, it was a good race though, really good race. Yeah.
It's time for us to take a short break now, but we'll be back in part 2 with highlights from the Senior X30 class and the youngest drivers on the grid with Cadet Clubman. Welcome back to Rye House Kart Raceway as we continue our coverage of the 4 Gadgets London Cup. Next, we take a look at the Senior X30 class for drivers aged 16 and above. Local driver Jonathan Campbell will start from pole after winning the pre-final earlier in the day.
We've been racing here about maybe 7-8 years now. Started off in Honda Cadets here, and we've worked our way up. We visited new tracks, but you know, this is our main one that we come to.
Working with Jonathan this weekend is Andrew Rees-Reynolds, who has many years' experience competing at Rye House.
I enjoy it almost just as much as racing. You know, seeing the driver develop and seeing how you can help them actually out, and you know, pass the knowledge on, help them out with lines, overtaking techniques, braking, things like that. And the ultimate thing is to make it fast, you know, so that the driver can get the most out of the kart.
So let's see if Campbell can win his first London Cup title. He's on pole in kart 14 with Niall Kay sharing the front row. And it's William Hayden and Kellen Veitch on row 2 with Thomas O'Regan 5th after picking up a penalty in the pre-final. Number 14, Jonathan Campbell, leads them round then from pole position, having fairly well dominated the pre-final. They are given the signal, the lights go out and the race gets underway. Campbell with a very good start here from pole position, tucking in behind him is Niall Kay, and it's wheel to wheel here for third place, but number 60, Will Hayden, has just about fended off Thomas O'Regan, who has gone from 5th up to 4th. At the back of the train, number 12, Kellen Veitch. Thomas O'Regan might be one to watch here in kart number 54 because he actually crossed the line in second place in the pre-final and was then later excluded for exceeding track limits. So he is a quick driver who might be able to come through here, but he'll have to be quick because the top two are already starting to break away at the end of the first lap. Jonathan Campbell, though, has not really been able to pull that far ahead of Niall Kay, just a tenth or two between them at the end of the first lap. Thomas O'Regan again looking down the inside on the way into stadium, but number 60, William Hayden, fends him off for the time being. Here go the top two. Jonathan Campbell, who has moved up from the juniors this year, who's in the junior Rotax category last year. He's attempted this championship, this London Cup a few times, but has never won it. And here we go again, side by side, this time on the way to pylon corner with the green helmet, number 54. Thomas O'Regan can't quite find a way past Will Hayden, who is defending well just behind the number 12, Kellen Veitch. He's making this a three-way scrap for the final place on the podium. A good exit for the final turn here for Thomas O'Regan, looking nervously across is Will Hayden, but the line has been stolen, and through comes O'Regan with a well-timed, well-executed manoeuvre there. So can he now do anything to bridge the gap up to Niall Kay, who had a close race with in the pre-final? But you can see the distance already that the top two have put between them and the rest of the pack. There's your race leader, number 14, Jonathan Campbell, currently running in third place in this year's X30 Club Championships, the season-long championships which runs every month at this circuit. Number 32, Niall Kay, who has got a good record in the London Cup. He was on the podium here last year. And this becomes the battle for fourth place now. Will Hayden trying to fend off Kellen Veitch because pulling away from them and running third place is Thomas O'Regan. But it is looking more and more unlikely that anybody is going to catch this man. Campbell won the pre-final by a huge 8-second margin after 18 laps, and he's been very dominant in the second half of this race. Just got to go through the S's for the final time and then make his way around the right-hander. The checkered flag awaits, and this has been a superb performance from Jonathan Campbell. He is the London Cup champion in Senior X30. Second place goes to Niall Kay, and third position to Thomas O'Regan. Here's the race result. Campbell taking the win by over 2 seconds from Kay, with O'Regan rounding out the podium. After the race, Veitch was put to the back with a 10-second penalty for an out-of-position front fairing.
To come here today and win it, it's special to me, and we're going to move on from this to probably compete in new championships, more higher up, and then see how it goes from there.
Coming up next, the first of 2 cadet categories for children as young as 8 years old. Honda Clubman is the entry-level class, but you can still expect some spectacular racing.
They do us proud because they are only 8 to 11-year-olds and their racing ability is incredible. You know, maybe that's the future Lewis Hamilton. As you know, Lewis Hamilton started here when he was 8, so maybe we've got another one there.
Like many aspiring young racers, Julia Stankowiak picked up her passion from motorsport through one of her parents.
I've been actually 30 years on the tracks. I started motocross. After that, I have an injury, so now Julia is racing go-karts, yeah.
But there's a lot to learn at this early stage in a young racing driver's career, and it's an extremely competitive category.
It's a little bit harsh for everyone, so mostly I'm pretty much at the back with my friend Spencer, so it's tricky.
En route to the final, Alfie Rigby had the best set of qualifying heats, but it's Aston Wigley who will start the big race from pole after coming from 5th on the grid to win the pre-final. Keen Berta and Darrell Taylor qualified 3rd and 4th, with Nathan Clifford and Rhys Lomax completing the top 6. Here's the view of the front row of the grid from Darrell Taylor, the reigning club champion who starts 4th. Ready for the standing start then, Aston Wigley on pole position. The race gets underway. Good start for the pole sitter Wigley. Just in the background, some contact there puts number 71, Julia Stankowiak, on the grass very briefly, but up front it's Wigley. from Rigby in second place, Kim Berter in third, and Daryl Taylor has slipped back to sixth place, look, in the 00 kart from the outside line on the way into turn one, and then he gets around into a spin at the hairpin, shakes his head, and they all come thundering past him. So Daryl Taylor, with a lot of work to do now, is right at the back of the field. But here are the lead group, Wigley, and right with him, Alfie Rigby in the green number 27 kart. These two are just half a second apart at the end of the pre-final race, which set the grid for this one. Just behind them in third place, it's Kim Berter, and then number 30, Nathan Clifford, running in fourth position. A good start for Danny Raymond, number 46, in fifth place at the end of the first lap. Nose to tail on the way to Stadium Bend here then for the first two. We're going to get a replay of Daryl Taylor's start from the second row of the grid. Always difficult from the outside line, as the inside line just shut the door on you. So fourth place quickly became fifth as number 30 Nathan Clifford came past, and a good move from Danny Raymond into Reggie's elbow. And then it was down to this hairpin where he had drama. So let's have a look. He gets almost into the back of Raymond, and then gets hit by two or three others as he's facing in the wrong direction going into the hairpin. Luckily, he's able to get going again with no damage to the kart, but unluckily, he's right at the back of the pack. Here we go then, the top two make their way through the S's once more. There's Berter in third, Clifford in fourth place, and the 46 kart of Danny Raymond tucked in behind in fifth position. On board with Daryl Taylor, who's already got past Stankowiak, and now draws alongside and passes number 88, Archie Sugarhammer, to gain another place. So there go those three onto the start and finish straight back on board with Daryl as he homes in on his next target, number 28, Spencer Baldwin. It's back up to ninth place already for him, and then tiny bit of contact sends around Archie Sugarhammer. It's enough at that speed to send him around though, and Stankowiak clipped him on the way past as well. So those two both delayed further down the pack. Here is Nathan Clifford, number 30, in fourth place, still fending off for number 46 of Danny Raymond. Nathan currently running in fifth place in the club championship, so look over his shoulder. You go on board with him now, and the average speed of these karts is just shy of 50 miles an hour around this lap here at Rye House. So incredibly quick for these young 8 to 12-year-old drivers as Daryl Taylor lines up a move on 28, Spencer Baldwin. This is for 8th place. He gets all over the curbs on the way through Stadium Bend. Gets a good exit still though. Goes through the left-hander at Reggie's elbow. He's lining up another move here on the way into the hairpin. He's going to have to come from a long way back. He can't find a way through there. Running out wide on the way towards the next hairpin goes Spencer Baldwin, but he fends him off for the time being into hairpin 2. Then he goes deep, goes wide, and the 00 of Daryl Taylor will draw alongside. Back on board with him now, and he's got the position. He's got back up to 8th place as they make their way around Pylon. Runner-up in another big event here earlier in the season was Daryl Taylor when he finished second in the Josh O'Malley Memorial Cup. He's going to have his work cut out to get onto the podium here. This is the battle for 6th place. Number 52 is Rhys Lomax. Just behind him is 22 Hayden Eldridge. So they're having a good nose-to-tail battle, as are the two leaders who pulled well clear now of Berter in 3rd place in the number 15 kart. So it's becoming a 2-horse race, this. Aston Wigley still with his nose in front here from pole position, but it's mighty close. The top 4 in the pre-final were covered by just 7/10 of a second as the checkered flag came out. And Alfie Rigby, number 27, has got a good run here. Gets right onto the rear bumper of Aston Wigley as they come onto the start-finish straight and into Stadium Bend. You pick up a quite considerable toe down there as well. Back to this battle for 6th place. Number 22, Hayden Eldridge, shadowing number 52, Rhys Lomax, but again unable to find a way past into Stadium. There's that battle for 4th place. Nathan Clifford, whose brother Connor we'll see racing in the Honda Cadet category, on the brakes into the outfield hairpin. Got to be brave on the brakes, but really you've got to carry the speed out of the corner, charging into Pylon, and then the complex, the right-hander through the S's, the most technical part of the course, the second half of the lap. And then towards the final turn, you've got to get a really good exit there for this long straight up towards the ultra-quick first corner at Stadium Bend. On board then with Nathan Clifford in 4th place on his way into that corner. And you can see just how much speed they carry here. And sneaking through, look, finally, it's Danny Raymond making a move. He's been very patient here, but he's got to 4th place. But now he's going to be under threat on the way into the hairpin because Nathan Clifford goes back down the inside and snatches 4th place back. But here he comes again. Raymond back with his nose in front. Great little duel going on there for 4th place. Here are the two leaders lifting a rear wheel here, carrying loads of speed through the final turn is Aston Wigley, who finished 6th in the London Cup in Honda Clubman last year. There is the new 4th place driver, Danny Raymond, after that great duel through the hairpin section. So we're almost home and dry now with the top two on the last lap of the race. There is Berta running in a very solid third position, a fairly lonely final, but a very good drive nonetheless. A glance over the shoulder, dips his head, tried to make himself as aerodynamic as possible here is Aston Wigley. He's not been a regular at the club this year, but he's got plenty of experience around Rye House, concentrating on national championships this year. It's been a very measured drive this though. The checkered flag awaits and Aston Wigley takes victory in the 4 Gadgets London Cup in the Honda Clubman's. Alfie Rigby in second, Kim Berta third.
Well, I started pole for that one, and then I just led it from there to win the race. When I looked behind me, I had a bit of a gap, so I thought, yeah, I've got this.
Congratulations to Aston Wigley, who gets his hands on the 4 Gadgets London Cup in Honda Clubman. We'll be back after the break with more fantastic racing from Rye House. Welcome back to the 4 Gadgets London Cup, one of the most prestigious annual karting championships in the UK. In a sport where hundredths of a second can make a huge difference to your results, drivers and teams need to squeeze every last ounce of performance out of these machines. But without grip, power is useless, so getting the most from your tyres is critical. And while it might look pretty spectacular, it's important to avoid sliding through the corners.
The tyres are made to roll forward, basically, so if you're constantly scrubbing them sideways, you're sort of breaking the top of the rubber off the tyre, and then once that starts happening, then the tyres just start sliding around rather than actually gripping to the track. So once the grip goes away, you lose performance.
Earlier on, we saw the senior X30 drivers in action, and next it's the turn of their junior counterparts. And one driver came through his qualifying heats with 3 wins out of 3.
We've had a lot of pace this weekend. We had 2 races yesterday and I won both of them, and we've had 1 race today and I've won that one. Hopefully we can take it on to the final.
But the format of the London Cup means you're only ever as good as your last race, and in the pre-final, which sets the grid for the weekend's main race, Louis failed to finish. So instead it's Brodie Rivers who claims pole position. Junior X30s on track, ready for their final here, and it is Brodie Rivers that leads them over the start-finish line as the lights go out. We get underway, tucking straight into second place. That's Jude Young, who's managed to squeeze past Jack Chapman in the number 88 kart, who started on the front row of the grid. So Jack has dropped down to 3rd position. Number 99 charging down the inside into the hairpin is Brodie Rivers and goes through. And 77, Jerome Phillip wants a piece of the action as well, having seen that Chapman was delayed coming out of the hairpin, but he settles back in behind in 5th position. So Brodie Rivers thumping the curbs there through Pylon into Complex Nouvelle and towards the S's, leads the race. Jude Young, number 75, in 2nd place, but coming after him, number 99, Louis Short, looking threatening here, down to 4th place, having started 2nd is number 88, Jack Chapman, and here we go again into Stadium, and Short is through, up to 2nd place now. Last of the late breakers, carried the momentum, picked up the toe, and 88, Jack Chapman, is all over the back of Jude Young as well, trying to get his position back in the top 3. So Brodie Rivers leads, but already up to 2nd place is Louis Short, who had a problem in the pre-final, but was the driver that was dominating the qualifying heats on the first day of action. So Louis Short coming back into the mix here after a very good start to the race. Jude Young really is bottling up now. Jack Chapman, you can see, he's absolutely itching to get back past here, having had a really close run in the pre-final, and gets the line, gets the toe, and goes down the inside into Stadium. So back to 3rd place now for Jack Chapman, who was only just a 10th of a second behind Brodie Rivers as the checkered flag came out on the pre-final, which set the grid for this one. The top 5 are all still absolutely together here as they make their way through the 2nd hairpin, the outfield hairpin, just at the back of the group. Jerome Phillip, number 77, showing good pace as well. He was excluded from the pre-final, having been ever so slightly underweight at the end of the session. Everybody has a minimum weight. They all get weighed at the end of each race. Driver and kart have to come to a minimum weight to keep things equal. And Jerome just fell short of those rules earlier on, but is hanging on to the tail of Jude Young in a battle for 4th place. There's your leader though, Brodie Rivers, and he knows he's got company now because Louis Short has bridged the gap, and we got 2 of them here battling for the lead of the race. They're pulling clear of Jack Chapman, number 88, in 3rd place, who in turn is pulling away from that 4th place battle. So Brodie Rivers, who finished 4th in the London Cup last year, but in a different category, the Minimax category. Onto the straight they come, and Louis Short has got a better run here on Brodie Rivers. He goes right, he goes left, but there is no chance to get through at Stadium Bend. He's still glued to the rear bumper, though, of Brodie Rivers for the lead of the race here. Nervously looking over his shoulder. The gap is opening up, and Louis Short comes through down the inside into the infield hairpin. He'll have the better line for the outfield hairpin, which is a right-hander, and we've got a new race leader. Louis Short from 4th on the grid into the lead of the race, and look how that little tussle for a lap has brought Jack Chapman much closer to them in 3rd place. He's having a very good lap as well, time-wise, so very shortly we could have 3 for the lead of the race. Whereas about a minute ago, it looked like they'd left Chapman behind. Here comes Brodie Rivers. He's got the toe this time and drafts past and regains his lead on the way into Stadium. And now Jack Chapman is right with them. 3 of them together here for the lead of the race. Cracking stuff here in the Junior X30s. And Chapman has a go at Short now. Draws alongside him, but he's on the wrong line for the right-hander. And so settles back into 3rd place for the time being. Great high-speed dicing, though, between these 3 drivers. The average speed in the pre-final on a dry circuit here at Rye House was just shy of 60 miles an hour. That's for a 125cc kart. And that's the average speed, don't forget, 60 miles an hour. Here we go then, top 3 together, and Brodie Rivers this time is able to fend off Louis Short. Louis is trying to attack and defend at the same time, with number 88, Jack Chapman, watching his every move down into the hairpins, having to be a little bit defensive. Is the race leader, and then around goes Louis Short, and half spin, and drops to 3rd place, and loses a couple of seconds. So up into 2nd place comes Jack Chapman, and Brodie Rivers now, for the first time in the race, has a bit of breathing space here at Rye House. Here's a replay then, and was there contact? Hard to tell, maybe a tiny bit there. Either way, it was unfortunate for Louis Short, who was sent into the half spin. He did well to collect it, actually. Could have been off into the barriers, got back going again, but that has ruined his chances of winning the race here. So, having put a lap on Jerome Phillip, number 95, Brodie Rivers has just got 2 more corners to go. He had to dig deep, but his efforts are going to be rewarded with victory in the 4 Gadgets London Cup. He wins the Junior X30 class. And more drama after the race, with Jack Chapman having a 10-second penalty added to his race time for an out-of-position front fairing, thanks to contact on the track. And the officials also excluded Louis Short for driving standards. No effect on Brodie Rivers, though, as he wins the 4 Gadgets London Cup.
Well, throughout the heats on the first day, it wasn't very successful, but today in the pre-final we went from 4th to 1st, and in the final it was just 1st to 1st. Just kept cool, kept pushing, and they ended up sorting themselves out, and I had a clear finish.
We move straight on to the senior Rotax category next, where Charlie Turner and George Sanders will be going head-to-head from the front row of the grid.
I've come back to the London Cup this year to try and win it, which I did last year. So yeah, things are going well so far. Won all my heats and qualified on pole position, so I hope to carry on that today.
I'm doing quite well. I'm running 2nd at the moment. Hopefully I can get on the pace of Charlie Turner. He's got a lot of pace. It's hard starting from the outside because obviously 3rd place from nip into 2nd. It'll be a wicked race.
Right on board with number 53, George Willis, from 4th on the grid as they build up the speed, a crescendo of noise, and the race gets underway. Number 5, Charlie Turner from pole position into the lead of the race straight away. 00, George Sanders in 2nd. Through comes number 32, Tom Thompson. Through comes number 65, Sam Nicolo, and several places dropped off the start here from 53, George Willis, with the onboard camera because he was stranded on the outside line. On board with him now, trying to chase back down Sam Nicolo as the rest of the field behind sorted themselves out through the hairpins. But Charlie Turner it is that has converted pole position into the lead of the race. He won the pre-final by 4.5 seconds to qualify on pole. He's also the defending London Cup champion, having won this event 12 months ago. Rest of the field comes through. Tom Sullivan, number 46, is leading the second group. He's up to 6th place after a decent start to proceedings. Flat out then through Stadium Bend, through the left-hander at Reggie's elbow with George Willis. There are the top three, and Charlie Turner ahead of the 00, the reigning club champion George Sanders. Third place is number 32, that's Tom Thompson, who's the current club championship leader in the season-long battle for overall honours here at Rye House. But in this special one-off London Cup, it is Charlie Turner that is leading the field around. Number 5, because he finished 5th in last year's British Championships. There is 4th and 5th. Number 65, Sam Niccolo, made good progress in the pre-final to get himself up to 5th on the grid for this one, being chased down by the man with the onboard camera, number 53, George Willis. George, who is currently riding high in the club championships in 2nd place, and they are pulling away all the time from Tom Sullivan, who leads the second group, number 46. He's a couple of seconds back now in 6th place. Back on board with George Willis through this really quick left-hander at Pylon, into the almost blind right-hander that starts the S's thereafter. There is number 57, Steve Borrett, who is leading a 3-4-way tussle for 7th place. Just behind him, number 31, Sam Gumbrell. There's 46 coming through on his own in 6th place, Tom Sullivan. Just behind in this group as well, you've got 47, Tony Parfit, who's in the 177 class with the higher minimum weight limit for the bigger, taller drivers. And Joel Afawalki is just behind as well, number 91. There he is. Deep into the corner is number 57, Stephen Borrett at the hairpin. And he's got a problem, that's why. He's looking over his shoulder, looking down at the left rear corner of the kart. It's really unfortunate for Stephen as we go back to this battle for 2nd place. And here is the battle for 4th place. George Willis having a big, long, hard stare down the inside here. He squeezes through and he's ahead. Back up to 4th place for him. And here's a move further back as well. 91, Joel Afawalki down the inside of number 47, Tony Parfit. And look at this again, side by side into Pylon Bend for 2nd place. The 00, George Sanders, coming under fire from the 32 kart of Tom Thompson. Had a good squabble for the Josh O'Malley Memorial Cup earlier in the season. And the victory in the end went to Thompson, number 32, but it's the other way around this time. 00, Sanders having a terrific run at the London Cup here last year, where he came from 15th on the grid to finish in 2nd place behind Charlie Turner. Charlie with just half a lap now to hold on to the race win. He also competes at times in Europe in the Rotax Max European Championship, the Euro Challenge. Just him and his dad running the kart this weekend. It's been a great team effort from the father and son, and it's Charlie Turner that sees the checkered flag to win the race. And in the background in 2nd place, George Sanders just about fends off Tom Thompson. Post-race, Sam Gumbrell picked up a 10-second penalty, which demoted him from 4th to 8th. But at the top of the page, a clean sweep this weekend for Charlie Turner.
It's been a perfect weekend really. Qualified pole position, won on my heats and won the pre-final by a long way, won the final by a long way. So it's been a perfect weekend. I can't ask for more really.
We're going to take a short break now, but we'll be back with what promises to be one of the best races of the weekend. The Honda Cadets are coming. Welcome to the final part of the 4Gadgets London Cup. We've just got one race to go, but it's likely to be a thriller because the Honda Cadets certainly know how to put on a show. One of the newcomers not looking to win, but just to develop his own skills, is novice racer Callum Folan, here with his dad Sean.
I've been finishing last, but last night I started in 25th and came 21st. I'm aiming to finish in the top 10.
There's a good bunch of guys, good bunch of kids. We're here Saturday, Sunday, for the whole weekend. He's out when he's not racing, he's mixing in with the other kids. It's a good bit of crack for the kids, you know.
And if there's one team that has their work cut out this weekend, it's Cutting Edge Racing. Based on site at Rye House, they're running no fewer than a dozen cadets this weekend.
It's a friendly team, everyone helps everyone else out, so it's a good atmosphere as well. It's a lot of work though, running up and down and fixing things and fueling and tyres and everything else, but yeah.
We're almost set for our final race, and it's Clubman winner Aston Wigley on pole and looking for a double victory in this year's London Cup. But Kasper Skuza and at least 6 others are also serious candidates for a race win. They may be the youngest drivers and they may not be the fastest karts here this weekend, but the cadets often provide fireworks when it comes to racing. All eyes fixed on the gantry then, ready for the lights to go out. The race gets underway. Off the line we go from the standing start. On board with Tom Leben, but it's Aston Wigley that leads the field. And Kim Burton, number 15, gets airborne there after some contact. Number 80 running out wide is Darryl Taylor. So number 29, Harrison Fox, goes ahead of him. Jake Genovese gets by as well. Into the first of the hairpins then. Aston Wigley leads the way. Back on board with Genovese as number 27, Alfie Rigby, comes past from 10th on the grid. Oh, there's some wheel banging there between 80 Darryl Taylor and 15 Kim Burton, who both had very tricky first laps here. Huge field of 27 cadet karts then make their way into the S's for the first time. Aston Wigley leading from pole position. Casper Souza, number 50, is just behind in second place. 43, Connor Clifford, shadowing them at the end of the first lap of the race. Then it's 23, Tom Lebon, 22, Harrison Lambert up next. There is Genovese, number 45, just behind that lead group. He carries the onboard camera and he's chasing back down Alfie Rigby, number 27, who went well in the Honda Clubman race earlier on. Here they come towards the second hairpin, then the pack filters their way through the first, and there's a bit of contact, and number 86, Will Baxter, is sent spinning around, but gets going again very quickly. Here is Aston Wigley then, who controlled the Clubman race from start to finish. He had pressure all the way through, but he didn't leave any chinks in his armour, didn't leave the door open once, and he's well able to lead from the front of the race. Can he make it a double victory here in the London Cup as we go on board with Harrison Lambert? This huge pack for the lead of the race goes down into Stadium Bend once more, and right ahead of him, number 23, Tom Lebon, draws alongside and maybe will line up a move on the way down into the hairpin. Yes, down he goes, under braking, and the 22 card of Harrison Lambert goes ahead of number 23, Tom Leben. Follow me, he says. Let's not let the top three get away. Got to try and close the gap now to Connor Clifford, and we're going to get a replay of that move from the perspective of Tom Leben. Good clean driving from both of them. They gave each other space, and through they went, and here is how it looked from the exterior camera on the way into the hairpin. Textbook manoeuvre there from Harrison Lambert. And at exactly the same time that was happening, just behind, watch this, number 27, Alfie Rigby, thundering down the inside of number 29, Harrison Fox. Wigley, Scooser, Clifford glued together for the lead of the race, just as they were in the pre-final. We had just a few tenths of a second covering the top four. Here a huge tussle going on for 10th place, led by 14, Scott Sumpton, 21, Luke Barham just behind. Harrison Fox down to 12th place now as we go back to the race leaders on their way through the outfield hairpin over the curbs. Good exit there for Casper Scooser. And just a bit of a gap back then to 4th and 5th. Harrison Lambert and Tom Leben having this huge dice. Here then the top three working well together. And you just get the sense that Connor Clifford is playing a bit of a waiting game here. They'll dip their heads, trying to make themselves that little bit more aerodynamic as they carve their way through the air. And look at this for 4th place! A lunge down the inside for number 23, Tom Leben. It wasn't without contact, but he is through. Harrison Lambert has been demoted down to 5th place. And right on their tail now, number 27 is Alfie Rigby. Here is a replay of the move. The door started to close. Leben was committed, though, and he wasn't going to back off at that stage. So up to 4th place he came. You get the sense that that battle is not yet finished either. They've got to work together, though, to try and close the gap back up to the top three, who are starting to get away. There they come. 5-way scrap now for 4th place. Just in front of him, you ride on board with 45, Jake Genovese, who is closing up to the tail of Alfie Rigby now on the way through Stadium Bend. Rigby runs wide, and through he comes with the onboard. Here's 46, Oliver Phillips, who's come from the back to the midfield here, leading a group of 3. 31, Sam Baker. 17, Mason Reed, been overtaken then by Kim Burton. And look, there's Scooser getting the lead of the race away from Wigley. Wow, a change down at the hairpin. Here's number 86, Will Baxter on Archie Sugar-Harmer to regain one of his positions he lost earlier on. There's Alex Preston and Julia Stankowiak running together. And there then is your new race leader, Casper Scooser. He's now got the pack queued up behind him. Aston Wigley wants the place back. He launches one down the inside on the way to Stadium Bend, and he's through. So back into the lead of the race. That didn't last for long. Casper Scooser has now got everybody trying to be in second place. 43, Connor Clifford. And then with the onboard camera, Tom Leben, who looks down the inside on the way into the hairpin, and Leben goes through. So Tom Leben, number 23 there with the green kit, back up a position, back into the top three. but being chased once again, coming out of the corner by Connor Clifford, who's got a better exit coming from the hairpin. Will to will they will be, but Tom Lemon just about has enough in hand to fend him off. So Lemon remains third. Fourth place for Connor Clifford. A bit of a gap back then to Harrison Lambert, who's leading the next train of karts, battling over fifth position with Alfie Rigby in the mix there as well. And you've also got Jake Genovese in that group. A little bit further back in the midfield. This is a good scrap going on with number 16, Oliver Fathers, down the inside on the way into Stadium Bend to get ahead of Ronnie Manslow. Ronnie, though, number 6 here, who qualified in 15th position. He's trying to get the place back, and he launches one under braking with a good move down into the first of the hairpins. So he regains that position pretty quickly. As we are given a replay, and this is Keane Burton making up another position after a bad start to the race. That's him on Oliver Phillips. Here we go then, the race leaders, all of them almost together here, make their way into Stadium Bend. It is number 58, Aston Wigley. Casper Scusa has led, but is second at the moment. Third, and watching it all go on, has been Connor Clifford, having a real ding-dong with Tom Lemon for fourth place. And look ahead, it's Will to Will again into the hairpin. And once more, Casper Scusa down at the first hairpin regains the lead of the race. And coming into second place, possibly, around the outside is Connor Clifford. But he's hung out to dry, and so Lemon gets past him, Lambert gets past him. And I think it's going to be down to fifth place for Connor Clifford. You go offline for a split second, and you are punished. So we are in the closing stages of the race here. Has Aston Wigley got anything left to fight back with? He regained his lead pretty quickly last time he lost it. That was at Stadium Bend. We're coming up to that corner now, and once again he draws alongside. The gap is narrow, but he squeezes his toe in. Bit of contact on the way through. He leads the race, and into second position has gone Tom Lemon, and look, all the way down the order has gone Casper Scusa. They've all come charging past him. He gesticulates, he's not happy with that, of course he's not, he's down to fifth place. Lemon and Lambert now up into the other podium paying positions. Here is a replay then of how Aston Wigley did it. Momentarily the door was closed, but he went through. He was never going to be stopped there. And looking over his shoulder, look, Casper Scusa just narrows the gap, then he goes back on to the racing line, but it's too late. Wigley is through. That bit of rubbing sent him wide and out of the top three, I'm afraid. And now the red flags have come out. There has been an accident, and so the race, which was almost at an end anyway, is going to be red flagged. With the race red flagged, the result counts back to the last complete lap of the race, so Wigley wins by just 1/10 of a second. Scusa is put back up to second, and Clifford completes the podium.
Well, I started off first in that cadet race, and then from there I just kept my lead until the red flag came out, and then after that I think I've won.
And that's it from this year's 4Gadgets London Cup. Well done to all of our champions, and we hope you've enjoyed the show.